Welcome back, QBs. This is episode 5, I think, season 3. This episode's a little different. Originally, I was gonna do obviously an episode with the guys, but tomorrow's actually my birthday, and I guess they thought that I was not gonna want to do the episode, which is kind of odd because I love to record, but I'm doing something different. So for this episode, I'm gonna interview using CHAT GPT. So yeah, CHAT GPT always comes in handy somehow. It's a great tool. If you don't know what CHAT GPT is, it's an AI that you ask questions to, and it like gives you responses in basically any topic. Like it could be whatever, development, you know, motherhood or fatherhood, like mechanic stuff, like anything. You can ask anything, and it'll give you an answer. It's not always correct, but it'll give you the best it can with what you guide it with. So yeah, I'm using that today. The prompt that I asked was basically have a podcast called B3 Party C. It's my birthday tomorrow, and I'm recording by myself. Can you be the interviewer and ask me questions that are in line with my podcast? So it gave me a list of questions, but I had to tweak it a little bit because it started talking like a surfer guy, and like, okay, like we're millennials, but we're not all surfer dudes. So like at the end, I'm just like, okay, give me something that is like casual. So what it gave me now is pretty good. So what I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna read what ChatGPT asked me, and then I'll answer it. So the first question was, tomorrow's the big day. How are you feeling about turning 28? So to answer that, I feel like time has really been flying. Um, Ever since my grandpa passed away, like it's just been like I feel like a ticking clock. I wrote a blog about this on the podcast website. It feels like time is just running out. I know it sounds really pessimistic, but it also puts me in that mindset that you only live once and you got to take advantage of what you have. What you have in the moment. One of the reasons I'm doing the podcast is because I feel like if I never took that leap, I would have never even started this. And I've been grateful, for my team and for them getting on and everything and recording with me. Like we don't get paid, we don't get money, we don't get anything. So I'm pretty happy about what we've done. We started this in December, I think, last year. So it's been like 6 something months. I don't know. But yeah, I'm feeling like, yeah, I haven't accomplished too many things, but I'm a dad of two now, so I'm like happy about that. I've grown as a person. I've changed some of my negative things, and like not all of them yet, but I mean we're always a work in progress. Everything's always a work in progress. You always gotta make sure you improving yourself. You'll never stop improving yourself. If you ever wonder like, can I do better? Like the answer is always yes. But I'm overall I'm pretty happy about turning 28. I feel like I've grown a lot. One thing that I do want to work on is my weight. I know I'm hitting the highest weight I've ever hit, but yeah, I'm gonna start changing my lifestyles. Here and there. I started fasting for a while and it helped, so I'm probably gonna try fasting again and trying to include more exercise in my everyday life. But yeah, I'm pretty happy about turning 28. The next question that ChatGPT has for me is, with two little ones running around, how do you plan to celebrate your birthday this year? So I'm not planning anything for my birthday. I actually went out with the guys yesterday. Like Tony and Aaron. We went out to Twin Peaks. Yeah, it was their idea. I promise. If my wife's listening, like it wasn't my idea, but we still went. It was cool. I've never been there before. I had some chicken and shrimp. It was pretty good. But as far as planning something for my birthday, I'm not really planning anything. I'm gonna see whatever my wife wants to do or whatever the family wants to do. We're probably gonna go out to eat or something. But my son's, I mean, it's not really a problem. I know my son is like 2, and like, they get fussy and stuff at restaurants, but I mean, we figured out that the max is like 1 hour. So as long as we stay under that 1 hour, we should be all right. And my newborn, he's not a problem at all. He just, as long as he has his milk, he's happy. But yeah, not really planning anything. But I mean, open to surprises. I mean, I'm not gonna say no to a surprise. But the next question is: looking back on your journey, what's one thing that you wish you knew when you were 18? When I was 18, I wish I would have appreciated things more. Like, I wish I knew how hard it was for people to get things. I guess, or how can I say this? Like, I wish I would have appreciated how hard it is, like, to be an adult and everything. Like, when I was 18, I was just like, oh, what do I want to do for the rest of my life? What am I gonna study? Like, it wasn't like a thing where I'm like, oh, this is how hard it is. Like, I'm gonna be stressed out or things like that. Like, if I knew that in advance, I think I would have like approached things differently. Maybe focused a little more in school. Tried harder in school. Try to find a better career and things like that. But mainly that's what I wish I knew back then. I would have worked on myself earlier than later. No, the fourth question is: parenthood can be wild, right? What's been the most unexpectedly rewarding part for you? So rewarding part of parenthood. I mean, every day just seeing my sons grow. Seeing my 2-year old learn new things. Do new things ever since he started like walking. All those milestones. Like, you just have to be there. Like, you basically, like, everything that you worked for, everything that you do for them, like, automatically, like, becomes worth it. You see them grow, you see them become, these little adults. But I mean, parenthood is like a weird thing, because like it can be hard, but it is also like something that is really amazing. Like, they're relying on you. They're looking up to you. They want to be you at some point. But it's just like every day it's just a new reward. Every day, just seeing them happy, seeing them grow up is rewarding enough for me. And yeah, that keeps me happy, that keeps me going, that pushes me to keep going. So that's my reward for me. Number 5 is: what's your go-to method for sneaking in some me time amidst the chaos of parenting? So my go-to method, I bet you know the answer, is the podcast. So the podcast has been my me time. Every Friday at 10:30 p.m. we record. We kept this going for a while. Like, it's been pretty constant. Uh, Even today, I didn't want to cancel, because I'm like, if I cancel today, like, we're not. What about next week? We're busy or something. Like, it just turns into this snowball effect where you end up like not recording for a month. So like, we keep going, like, keep sneaking in that me time. I know right now I'm supposed to be taking care of the newborn, but I mean, it's Friday, and my wife knows that, and every other day I do it. I take care of him from 10 to 3 a.m. So, one day, it's okay. I mean, in my eyes, I feel like it's okay. And also for any parents, like, it's not a bad thing to take some me time. Try to sneak it in, whatever it is. If you like to do art or whatever, sneak in that 30 minutes, 1 hour. Try to talk with your partner. If you have a 50-50 relationship, like we talked in another episode, tell them like, hey, it's your turn to take care of them. Like, I'm gonna do this. Like, it just has to be something that you have to talk about and get understanding, so each of y'all don't get burnt out. or stressed out. The sixth question is any standout memories from your own childhood that you're hoping to recreate with your own kids? Standout memories. I mean, parties are really a memory that I always have. I know my dad and my mom always found a way to have a party for us. You know, always having the fajitas cooking, you know, the piñatas. Like every birthday we had a party. And that's something that my wife and I are trying to do. Like, my son turned one obviously last year and then two this year. So, like, these past two birthday parties were like, nah, like, we gotta do something, you know, nice. Like, even though he might not remember it, you know, we'll have pictures. We'll show him whenever he gets older. Like, we'll have those memories forever, even if he doesn't remember it right away. But that's one of the things that I want to continue recreating for my kids, like having that party. Like, I sometimes hear people's parents say, you know, like, we don't do a party or whatever, and that's fine too. Like, I know some ideas are out there, like, why am I gonna waste like $200 or whatever on a party for the family members? But I feel like there's another side to it, you know, like, it's not always about the money. It's not always about, like, oh, I'm just buying food for other people instead of taking them on a trip or something. But I mean, it's memories. You know, the cousins come over. They're all like, on my son's past 2-year party, we had a minion theme, and like, I just have the memory in my head, like, his little cousin. Well, his they're not really cousins, but they're my wife's cousins' kids, and they were just like sitting there, like, all watching Minions while like they were eating pizza, and I'm just like, that memory is like burned into my brain. You know, like, that's forever gonna be like such an awe moment. Like, things like that, I feel like you can't get that like taking a trip or whatever. But I mean, I don't hate the trip idea either. I think you should have trips, but I feel like birthdays, you know, only happen once a year. You know, have that little party, even if it's not a lot of people. Just, you know, invite little cousins. You know, make it nice and fun for them. You know, because even though they won't remember it, it will be something that you remember, and you can tell them about it later. uh, Number 7 is, let's talk career for a sec. What's one piece of advice you'd give to your younger self about work and success? So I started working when I was 17, and my first job was working at Subway. And I guess the advice that I would give myself would be, don't stress so much whenever it's a job like that. Like, there's a difference between a career and a job that you're just doing to get by. For example, like fast food, like, unless you're trying to be like a manager or something at a fast food place, like, I feel like it's not worth you losing your mind for it. Like, what I mean by that is, you shouldn't stress out when you're like a working at a fast food place just to make some extra money. Like, it shouldn't ruin your, what is it called? Like, you shouldn't put yourself in a situation where you're like super stressed out and it's affecting both your career, your school career, or like it's affecting your personal life. Once it becomes toxic or whatever, like, I feel like you should leave. And the reason I say that is because when I started working at Subway, I was working from 5 p.m. to 11 p.m. And I know that this doesn't seem so bad, but when you're going to school, like, and you're, for example, I was a junior in high school, and whenever I started working at Subway, like, my grades started tanking. You know, my sleep was way off. Like, I was in my 7 a.m. class, like, literally falling asleep, because even though my schedule was 5 to 11, like, we would still have to stay there and clean up and like do a bunch of stuff there that take like an hour longer. So I would be home by like 12:30. And I know some people may say that that's not that bad, but I mean, to me, it was because it was my first job like that, and like waking up at 7 in the morning was pretty bad already. So there I was trying to stay awake in my, I think in my history class. So imagine a history class at 7 a.m. You're tired, you're sleepy. Yeah, it definitely was not enough, and I actually got in trouble once with one of my professors because she saw me falling asleep and she like literally kicked me out of the class because she was like, "How dare you fall asleep in my class?" And like I felt bad and I just didn't want to say any excuses, so I just like walked out. But I mean, in my head, I'm like, man, like I'm just tired. Is like that's not really disrespect towards you or your class or anything like that, but I was just like extremely tired, and that's one of the reasons. Like, I would, if I could tell you that to myself just younger, I'll be like, if this is affecting you in school, like leave, because I'm never gonna get back that time like that I was doing like bad. Like if I had gotten a job where I wasn't feeling stressed out or ruining my sleep schedule, I think I would have done better in school. I would have gotten better grades. I would have been like better for me even down the line when I went to university, like things like that, like better scholarships or whatever. But definitely don't, like, if something is toxic or it's affecting you mentally or affecting your lifestyle, I feel like you should find an alternative because you're never gonna get that time back. And in terms of success, I feel like that would just fall in line with the rest of the things. Like you get your life in check, you're sleeping well, you're working on yourself, you're studying, you're doing good in school, successful. Like we will just come with it. Question number 8. When life gets hectic, what's your go-to stress relief tactic? Oh, when life gets hectic. I mean, hectic is like every day for us with kids, but my stress relief. I guess when I stress relief for us right now is, we'll sit down in the living room, we'll put on a movie that's interesting for all of us. We recently started watching Cars again. Well, for us again, for my son the first time, and he really likes that movie. He loves red cars, so I think that's one of the biggest eye catching things that he wants to watch. So yeah, I would say that's my go to stress relief. Just put on a movie, sit down with my family, make some popcorn, iced coffee or something, or some drink to just chill. But yeah, that's it. Number 9. On the flip side, what's your guilty pleasure when you just want to indulge a bit? Guilty pleasure. I don't know. I think. I mean, I don't really game anymore. I used to have, my little game time, but now I don't really do that. I think my guilty pleasure would just be like the podcast, I guess. Like, cause I've been like, whenever I have time, I'll get my laptop out and find clips, put them on social media. Like anytime that I have free time, I just get my laptop and I get that side eye, like from my wife, like, you're gonna work on the podcast. I'm like, yeah. I mean, we're sitting here, we're watching a movie. And I mean, I don't affect you in any way. I'm on my laptop. I'm making videos. I think that's my guilty pleasure. Number 10. As you're about to hit the big 2-8, what's one thing you're proud to have accomplished in your 20s so far? I think one of my accomplishments in my head would be about my job. Like, I feel like I really grown because I'm a manager, but I feel like I really grown as a manager. And I used to work an overnight shift, and then I moved to the morning shift, and that itself like really changed my life. Um, also really changed my way of being a manager. Like I used to micromanage a lot. Not for any. I mean, I know it's pretty negative, But my idea was, I'm taking care of my team, I'm being good, looking out for them or whatever. But I mean, it does become something negative when it's like you're babysitting, you're taking a lot of time out of your day to just make sure everybody else is good, and also working on your stuff. Like you're gonna get stressed out quick. But that's one of the things that I feel like I'm proud of. I'm also proud of like being a dad. I guess I consider myself one of those dads. Like I do a lot. Like I know there's some controversy there. Like, what do you mean by a lot? But I feel like some dads don't do what I do. I always tell my wife this. I'm like, you're lucky. You're lucky because I'm literally like always there. I'm the guy that's with the backpack on and pushing the stroller. Always with her. Always helping. When we go to parties, instead of like, oh god, how the guys go somewhere and the women goes another day. Like, I'm always with her. Because I know my son is pretty. Uh, what's it called? He likes to run around and do stuff, and it gets pretty hectic. So I understand that, and I'm always there, like helping. Like I can help with him, and you stay with the baby, and like I feel like I'm proud of that because I'm one of those dads. Like I help you, and I feel like not a lot of people, or not a lot of people are like that. Maybe now, like millennial dads, but in past generations, like it's not like that. And I always noticed that, like especially like traditional like Mexican relationships, like the mom's always doing like everything, like they're always taking care of the kids, taking care of the husband, and like and like leaving themselves last, like taking care of themselves last. And I feel like that's changed a lot. We don't really do that anymore. So yeah, I'm proud of the dad that I am. 11. We all have those moments where we feel like we're still figuring it all out. What's one area of your life where you're still finding your groove? I mean, definitely, like, even though I just said that I'm proud of being a dad, I feel like I'm figuring it out along the way as well. So that's one of the things that I feel like I'm always gonna be a work in progress. I'm never gonna be a perfect person or dad or whatever. But that's one of the things that I feel like I still need to work on. Find ways to be better all the time. Another area, I guess, I need to really work on my. I think I want to work on my time management, because like we always have this excuse, like, oh, there's no time for this, there's no time for that, like. But then again, you spend like 3 hours on TikTok, or you spend like 2 hours watching movies. Like, there's time. We just gotta learn how to split it. How to manage it. And I think that's something that I need to work on. Finding my groove, like Chat GPT says. Okay, number 12. Social media. Love it or hate it. How do you navigate the whole digital age as a parent? So social media, social media has become a big thing for me in these past months, because that's how I spread awareness for the podcast. Oh my god, like it's been such a roller coaster, and it's been so, like, I never knew how hard social media was. I thought it was something that I was like, oh, I mean, it's gonna be pretty easy. All I gotta do is post this, and like people will like it, people will follow us, and we'll be famous or whatever. Not famous, but I feel like I thought it was gonna be easy, and it's not. It really is not. At first I was like posting these things. Like, at first we didn't do a video, so that was one of the biggest things. Like, I'm over here having to post like just clips of me, because I was the only one who was recording locally, and we didn't use Riverside yet. Now we use Riverside, and I have, like, obviously you've seen Aaron and Tony and Billy on the other side of the videos. But at first I didn't. So it was just me like saying stuff, and then the sound of the other people talking. So that was one of the hurdles that I had to go get over. But Daisy, I think you've heard her in the episode. She's social media manager, and she helped me. like get it together a little bit. She's like, okay, don't do this, don't do that. This is how people get followers like this. Like, this is how you're gonna get more engagement, more reviews. So I've been using some of her tips. I don't want to become like, how do I say? I don't want to have that account where we're just trying to gain followers. Like, because I can obviously do those tactics and people are gonna follow, but I kind of want people to follow us because you like our content and you relate to us, or like something deeper. I guess like I sound so dumb saying that, but I want followers who are actually like interested in our stuff. But yeah, social media. I want to say I don't hate it, but it's definitely hard. Instagram has been our go-to. It's like Instagram is really good. We have options that put music, put like captions, like super long captions. Reels are great. Reels have really been the ones that give me a lot of engagement for the podcast. So if you're looking to get engagement or more awareness, use Reels. I also post on TikTok, but I did have I had my what's it called, my bad experiences with TikTok. We keep getting flagged. Like if we're just reposting content, like it keeps saying that we're just like unoriginal and we're like using somebody else's video or whatever. But it's our videos, and they don't like whenever they do that, they don't let us get on the for you page. So literally, when that happens, you only get like 10 views or whoever your followers are. So I mean, the for you page is literally the only reason that we would use TikTok, because once the videos hit the for you page, you get like viewed by a ton of people that don't know you, and then if they like your stuff, they follow you. But yeah, when you get flagged as unoriginal, like it just goes to this section where you don't even get like noticed. So that ruins everything, and I was pretty mad about it. I reached out to support and everything, but they literally couldn't. They don't do nothing about it. I think it's all like algorithm. Like once it flags you, you're flagged, and that's it. You just gotta post another video and hope for the best, I guess. But yeah. Number 13. If you could pick one superpower to help you out with parenting, what would it be? Oh, I like this one because it makes superpowers with parenting. Oh my god. Um, this one's hard because obviously, like teleporting would be amazing because I could like teleport wherever my son needed me or whatever. Like if he's like about to fall from the stairs, I could just like teleport. But then again, I'm also thinking mind reading, and I'm going to tell you why. Because, for example, my son doesn't talk yet and doesn't communicate as well. I mean, he's starting to do more, and so I give him credit for that. He's starting to learn like point like, hey, I want this, I want that, whatever. But if I learn how to read minds, like I would know what he wanted right away. So whenever he's crying or whatever, instead of offering like 20 things, I could just be like, "Oh, his stomach hurts," or just know right away what's wrong. So that like knowing, like reading his mind would be like, "Oh, this is what the problem is." But definitely that or teleporting, that'd be awesome. Like if he was like, it would save me so much like anxiety moments. But yeah, teleporting or mind reading. Number 14. Time for some nostalgia. What's one thing from your childhood that you miss the most? Nostalgia. I mean, the only thing that I've thought about when I said the word nostalgia, I remember when I used to watch the Power Ranger movies for the first time. Like that first time watching that, it really brings me back on memories because I've always watched like Power Rangers and like literally every type, like Mighty Morphin. What was the other one? SPD, Ninja Storm, like all the ones from the past. The new ones are good too, but like all the originals are really good. What was the other one? The one with the wizards? Power Rangers. I forgot what the name was. Oh, but the one with the wizards, they were pretty cool as well. Like they were Power Rangers and had wizard powers. Like That's pretty cool. I always my favorite color is green, so obviously I was like Tommy, the Green Ranger. I know he turned into the White Ranger later on, but the green suit was like wow, like amazing. Like that was my favorite Ranger, even though I mean I knew he was evil, but his suit was like just like thing. And also like the rest of the Rangers with the green suit, like I don't know if you've seen Ninja Storm, but there was one part with there was the sensei and then I think it was his son, but he was basically the tech guy, and like that I relate to him so bad. Like I feel like I would be the tech guy in like the Power Ranger world, but even though he was like the tech guy, he ended up being a Power Ranger later on, and he had the green suit, and I was like, oh my god, that suit is so cool. But yeah, definitely Power Rangers really brings me nostalgia. No, it's just like what do I miss the most? Well, I miss watching all that for the first time, I guess. Okay, number 15. All right, let's get real for a sec. What's one parenting moment that you absolutely nailed recently? Oh my god. So there's a lot of parenting moments. What did I nail? This one's pretty hard. I think the last thing that I nailed recently was like understanding, I guess, understanding my son. I've been understanding him more, and like I said, he doesn't talk, so I just try to find like the cues. So like sometimes he'll point or he'll say, like a word, like he'll say fish or up or out or outside, like, and like I've been cocky about this with my wife because I've understand him sometimes better than she understands him. So he'll be like, like and like I don't know what he's talking about, and I'll be like, oh, you want this and this and this, and then he'll be like, yeah, and like that just that is like, that's a parenting moment that I feel like I know. Okay, number 16. What's your ultimate comfort food when you need a pick me up? Oh, comfort food like that I have at home or that I go get. Uh, and the pick me up. I feel like comfort food. When I hear the word comfort food, I think like fried chicken or something. My ultimate comfort food. Oh my god, this one's hard. I guess I'll go with like chicken tenders. That's so basic, I know. But comfort food, like that's what I think about, like chicken. So yeah, chicken tenders, like probably from like Chicken Express or something, the spicy ones. But chicken tenders. Okay, number 17. Any dad jokes up your sleeve that always get a good laugh from the kiddos? Um, I always use the one like my son doesn't really understand jokes yet, but I mean I have siblings and I've used this before. Like whenever they're like, hey, hey Brandon, I'm hungry or whatever. I'm like, oh hi hungry, I'm Brandon. I know it's so dumb, but that's the only one I can think about. Okay, number 18. So looking ahead, what's one thing you're excited to tackle or experience in your late 20s? Excited to tackle or experience. I've definitely. I'm excited to actually like to see my sons grow and experience that. Like my newborn's already a month old. Like that's what I mean. Like my time is going super fast. Like that's why I mean, if you're listening to my podcast, like the one takeaway that I want you to take away from like everything, I guess, if you listen to one episode, I just hope you realize like time is counting down. Like I know we always say like we'll do it tomorrow, like we'll do it next week, we'll do it whatever, but like tomorrow's not promised. You only live. You gotta live in the moment, live in the present, and that's one of the things that like I always think about. So I'm always happy to experience every day with my sons. Like I'm always excited to see what's the next challenge or whatever. But I think that that's my answer for that one. That's what I'm excited to experience in the 2 years, I guess, of my 20s, because I'm already 20. I'm gonna be 28, so when I'm 30, like that's a big 30. All right, number 19. We all got our little quirks. What's one thing about you that always makes your friends laugh? Oh my god! I guess my laugh. I haven't really laughed like for real in the podcast, but I know like whenever I would hang out with my friends in person, and I fall into that crazy laugh. Like I know that's one of the things that people like to see me like freaking laugh frenzy. But yeah, that's one of the things I guess that I would say makes my friends laugh. Other than like when I say dumb things or jokes, I guess. But definitely my laugh is the first one. And last question. And finally, if you could sum up your hopes for the year ahead in just 3 words, what would they be? My hopes for the year ahead in just 3 words. That's hard. I mean, every day that it's 11:11. I know this is pretty weird, but like they say, like if it's like whenever it's 11:11, you can make a wish or whatever. So the 3 words I always say is health, wealth, and happiness. So I guess that's the 3 words that come to my head whenever somebody asks me things like, "What do I hope for the year?" So yeah, health, wealth, and happiness. And I wish that on myself, obviously, and my family, and obviously y'all, like the listeners or whoever is here with me on this solo episode. I wish you guys health, wealth, and happiness. And either, I mean, if you have one, at least one of those, I think you're pretty good. I know some people are super healthy, and that like, and wealth isn't always a great thing, but I mean, happiness is always something that we need. Don't push yourself too hard. Take those little wins. Take with what you can work with, and that's pretty much sums up my episode. And thank you guys for listening. And yeah, this one's pretty weird, but I mean, ChatGPT got my back all the time. I know it's a solo episode, but oh well. Thanks for listening, and yeah, see you next episode. Bye.